Hello, hello. I hope everyone's having a good beginning to their week. Tonight, I am going to do a little bit of a flashback Tuesday. I have a particular card I need to make, and I thought tonight would be the perfect time since since I'm live with you guys, and I know some of you have these stamps, I thought it would be a great time to switch it up a bit. We did color all the new images that were in the last release once, so we're going to flash back to some prior releases just for fun. Hey, Evelyn, welcome, welcome. I've already chosen my skin tone, but my son's birthday is this week. It's actually in 3 days, so I need to get this in the mail tomorrow or it's not going to make it. And he loves to game, so I'm going to use this little guy from the Mighty Warrior stamp set, and this is the sentiment we'll be using. You've reached a new level of awesome, and we're going to use this. And some dice, and then I'm going to put happy birthday on the inside of the card with our special occasions stamp set. This one kind of covers some of the bigger holidays. The word happy is separate, so you can put it with Halloween, Grandparents' Day, Christmas Day, happy holidays, Veterans Day, Father's Day. The happy and the day are separate, so you can add those to the beginning and end of all of these other things. And we do have Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays and all that good stuff. So that is what we have right now. And then my son has 2 dogs. He has a Corgi and a Dachshund. Well, he and his wife. This is his dog. This is his wife's dog. So we're going to incorporate the dogs in the card as well. And then this is the paper pad that I'm going to use. The homegrown paper pad. It kind of went with the 3 little pigs and the little bears release. So we're going to pull that one as well. So those are all the products we're going to use tonight. The Puppy Love, the Mighty Warrior, the Special Occasions, and the Homegrown Paper Pad. So just a few of the things in your stash if you have already gotten them from prior months. If not, they're still available in the shop, so you won't miss out, just in case it happens to be something that you'd like to have. So, I've already done a little bit of pre-cutting so we could focus on the coloring for tonight. Hey, Aaron. Hey, Barbara. Hey, Tammy. So, Dale says he's coloring along, you guys. So, I have one already cut out right here. He can't have that one because I need that one already cut out for me. But I'm going to go ahead and stamp for him the one that he's going to use. Hey, Barbara. Hey, you guys. Hey, you guys. So some of this stuff that we're going to add to the card, like from the other stamp sets that I talked about, like the Puppy Love and the banner that goes across the top of the page, this one right here. We're going to use the ephemera pack for those, just so I can show you how you can use both together, the ephemera with what you colored as well. So just kind of showing a little sample of all the products. Hey, Janine. Hey, Leanne. Welcome, welcome. Now, now that you guys are popping in, getting quite a few people in there now, I want to let you know that Thursday will be on YouTube. It's going to be my first time going live on YouTube, so bear with me, but come join me. Same time, 8 Central on Thursday nights. Tuesday nights will be here. Thursday nights will be on YouTube starting this Thursday. We're going to try to build that YouTube channel. Pretty cool, huh? That way you'll be able to pause, back up, slow down, rewatch, all the good things that YouTube offers. But all the videos that we've done on Facebook, or I would say 98% of them, are all on YouTube already. So there will be some, it's not a brand new YouTube channel, so there is some good information out there. So if you want to go check it out before, then you can definitely see what we have out there. We have some speed coloring videos, speed card making, quick and easy videos, and we're just going to start building on that. I always have trouble getting the chat to come up on my phone. Yeah, see, that's why that's a little bit why we're transitioning to YouTube, is because we have so many people who get kicked out 4 or 5 times a night on my lives, and they miss stuff, and I feel really bad about that. So we're going to change the platform to YouTube. So if, while I was talking, yay for YouTube. Yeah, a lot of people like YouTube. I hesitated for a while because there were some people who didn't have YouTube, but I think the whole world is moving towards YouTube, and I know a bunch of you visit me at Happy Crafty Ho-Ho's channel late nights, so I know a bunch of you are already on YouTube, so I thought that would make it easier. Plus, we can start eventually sharing the new release parties with you guys on our YouTube channel and on Happy Crafty Ho-Ho. So just kind of transitioning all of it. So be patient with us. We're doing the best we can. I'm going to zoom in. Ooh, wow, that was fast. Did you feel like you had whiplash on that one? That went super fast. So this little guy, love this little guy, reminds me of my son gaming all the time. He games a lot. Hey, me too. I hate Facebook. I have such a hard time getting the chat to come up. Yeah, it becomes challenging. And I really do want to be able to talk with you guys and chat with you guys. So I want to move to where we can all talk together. So in addition to that, I also wanted to let you know that other than the Thursday night lives, we are working on a schedule. Do not have it quite yet, but we're working on a schedule where we're going to review how to, I have it ready, thanks honey, how to color in your practice book that you may have gotten from us. So this one right here is the Olo book. There's a Copic book, an Olo book, and an Ohuhu book. And when you purchase the book, you could do digital downloads. If you don't want to do the book, you can do either one. It doesn't matter. If you get the book, you will get the digital downloads as well. But you'll need to work on your swatching. And then I have a bunch of pages in here that have all kinds of different designs on them, and they give you color combinations and such. But I'm going to go through the step process on how to color each one of these pages. So if you bought the book and you're like, this is great, what do I do with it? This is great, but how do I color it? So I'm going to go through the directions for each of the pages. So we are working on that right now for you guys. I won't go over these exact combinations because that is why you buy the book. You get 4 preset combinations. I'll start with the blank page and a new combination, different than these. So you will be able to color over here with me, and then you'll be able to go in and practice yours. It comes especially in handy for something like these eyes. I mean, these are great, and then you say, oh, she gave me this book and this is fantastic, but how do I color an eyeball like that? Well, I'm going to go over all of that. And during the process, it is our plan for Dale to be the beginner that goes through the steps with you. So I just wanted to give you that heads up so you could be ready and watching. And if you're not already following us on YouTube, that you go ahead and start following, get your book, get everything ready, because those lessons are coming. And I want you to be able to already have your book. If you wait till the last minute, you can do digital downloads. But if you want to be prepared, get your book ahead of time. So just a heads up on that. Okay, now let's get on for tonight. I will be making a lot of advertisement and letting you guys know when those practice lessons are coming on YouTube. So follow us on YouTube and come here and watch the lives and the ones on YouTube, and you won't miss it, I promise. So tonight, I'm going to start off coloring. You need this one too. You need truffles now. Coloring the skin tone for this guy. I'm going to try and darken that picture a little bit so you'll be able to see it just a little bit better. What size binder? What size binder? Okay, so it is, I want to say I've measured it before and it was close to a 5x7, but I think it's a little bit bigger than that. This one is 6 by 7.5. This actual book is 6 by 7.5. And if you order the binder, you get, everything's already done in it. I set up your book for you, and then you get the digitals should you need to replace your pages. But if you want to set it up yourself, you also get little tabs that you can add to the pages to divide the sections if you want to. I didn't put them in there. I want you to be able to do that yourself.
And if you do get a binder, get one that has plenty of space, because this is supposed to be your swatch library for your custom combinations, not just a practice sheet. Once you get past the practice, then you can go ahead and start adding pages to start building your library, so you always have something to reference back to.
I still reference back to the original one that I made years and years and years ago. I'll still reference mine, and the one that I built for all of you, I use that as well. So I just wanted to let you know that that's the size that you'd need to buy. You can certainly manipulate it however you want. The page, when I give you the digital download, it's both pages side by side. So you get the ones with the color combos and the one without side by side. So you could potentially do it in an 8.5 by 11 book if that's what floats your boat. It's up to you, however you want to do it. Mighty Warrior stamp set. Yes, that is what we are using. Okay, I'm just checking the chat because it went by pretty quick while I was talking. I just want to make sure I didn't miss anything. I know you guys, I've had a few requests for those instructions on how to fill out the book, and I really want you using it because it's just been a game changer for me. I need to still print mine. I need to buy a binder for them. Oh, Barbara, what size binder? I got mine on Amazon, but you have to buy them in bulk. So you probably don't want to do that. I did it because of the retreats we have. This guy came from the Mighty Warrior stamp set that we have in the shop. It looks like this. It's got a little banner. We're going to use that banner tonight, but we're going to use the one. You also get it in the ephemera, so I'm going to use it in the ephemera that already has it stamped. So it already has this inside there pre-made for you, so we're going to use that, but you could make it yourself if the colors don't work for you. It has some potion, some 20-sided dice, the guy, and some sentiments. And all the sentiments in this entire release all fit within this scroll. on all three of the stamp sets that released at the same time. All the sentiments fit in this scroll. So I was really careful on that. So that's what we're coloring tonight. I got a 3-inch 3-ring binder that was 5x7 from Amazon. I think I can send you a link later if you want, Barbara. There you go, Barbara. Okay, so here we go. Tonight, if you're writing down the combos or if you want to follow along, I'm about to tell you what colors I'm going to be using so you can be ready to go. I'm going to be using E000 for my base coat. And then I'm going to be using RV95. Not sure if you can see these. Once I put them on there, they won't focus because my hand's in the way. But they are RV95, E11, E13. Let's see, we'll get it. I'll get it yet. E21 and E00. So those are the colors. You can catch them as we're going along the process because I'll put the cap in screen so you can see it. That's really important to me. And then on top of that, when I upload it to YouTube, I will also put the color, all the markers that I use in the video so you can get it from there as well. Okay. My issue is that I still have trouble blending colors. That comes with experience, Leanne. Just watch every single thing that we color on this guy. We're going to have to blend. With the exception of his shoulders and the fluffy part of his boots and the hair. Because I'm going to... Oh, and the wood. Because I'm going to want this to look a little bit more textured, so I'm not really going to blend that. But the key to it is working the line. And what I mean by that is when you have two colors, like let's say this one. This is my E13. And then you come in with your E11. And you look at it, you still have like... You're like, how does that blend? So once you get the color on there, if you still have a line, you're going to work this line. I call it working the line, which means you're just going to repeat this color over top of the line. This way, back and forth, over it, until you get that line to blend so you can't see it anymore. That is what you need to learn, and that we will work on. You could work on that on page lesson 2 in your book. So you could just put any two colors and then work the line like that so you can smooth it out. So that's the key to smooth blending. Okay. So we're going to start off with a base coat of E000, and we're just going to put this all over his face and his skin, everywhere we see his skin. Some of the lessons will be in Ohuhu, some will be in Copic, and some will be in Olo, just so you can see me color with all the 3 different mediums on YouTube, but the book is set up so you can still follow all the videos regardless of what marker I'm using. And I'll explain all of that when the videos start. So this is his chest area here and here. He doesn't have a shirt on. I mean, you could color him with the shirt on, but that wasn't my intent. So the arm, and then all the way down here where the fingers are. And then the other side is where the fingers are. And don't forget that little thumb peeking on the other side there. And then like if you wanted, you could make it like he just has a little piece hanging down and his legs are showing. You could do it that way. I don't usually do it that way, not on video. You know what I'm saying. I'm going to make those pants a color of whatever leather, whatever he's wearing. So for now, those are the only areas that we're going to put the skin tone on: the face, the chest, both sides of the chest, the arms, and the hands. So that's the plan. Now, you can color light to dark, dark to light, whatever works for you. Everybody has their own way of doing it. Do what works best for you. I choose dark to light because it uses less ink. And the amount of times I have to refill my markers, I prefer to use less ink. It doesn't blend better one way or the other. I mean, it's the same ink. It doesn't matter which way you use it. So do what works best for you. But when you color with me, I'm 90% of the time going to go dark to light. Just so I can save my ink. Just saying. You know, that's the reason. Okay, so RV95 is the dark color that we're going to use for the shadow area. Don't be afraid of the dark. Here we go. I'm going to put that right along the edge of where the hair is overlapping the back of his head. I'm going to put a little line over his ear. I'm going to put a little line inside his ear. I'm going to put a line all the way along these braids that are over his face. So usually I don't do it in a straight line like that. Like usually I do it in teeny tiny little brush strokes. But for ease of tonight, for those that are new and following, this is the basic type I would color until I got used to making those teeny tiny flicks. So I'm going to do the back of his neck, under his chin. And then I'm going to accent some of these muscles he has going on here on his chest. I'm going to put a little bit where his arm is overlapping. Bless you. A little bit on this shoulder. And then I'm going to put a little bit right here where this hand piece is over his fingers. I'm going to do that on both sides. And then underneath this arm piece of fur right here. And then I might just put a little line right there to show that's where his arm bends. So I know that's a little bit hard to see on camera, but let me see if I hold it up. You can see it a little better. So you can see all of the places I put this color. And yes, it is a purple tone, just a little bit, but that is okay. It won't look like that when you're done. So there we go. How we doing, Dale? Dale is coloring along on the side. How we doing? Good? Perfect. Okay. Now we're going to grab E13. Now this one isn't going to have any of that pinkish color. This one's going to be pretty brown. It's called suntan. It's pretty dark. Alright, so let me lock my zoom in camera. So I'm going to be holding the marker to the side. I want you to hold it up more. I'm just holding it to the side so you can see what I'm doing. So now I'm going to start extending from that darkest spot all around those areas that I put that dark color. And extending just a little bit. I'm also going to do a few little dots around the edge of this hair because this is like a bald area on his head that has some new hair growth. So most of that's going to be darker than his skin because he has the shadow of the hair. And then I'm going to go a little bit further inside the ear. And then I'm going to go down the side of this face and down here just a little bit. Also that ear that's hidden in the back, I'm just going to make that completely brown. And now I'm going to start extending from where I put all that other shadow color. Just like this. This part is coming down right here. I'm going to do this one up a little bit. You can turn your image around if it makes it easier for you. I've been doing this a long time, so I can do the brush strokes from either direction. I'm just better in one direction sometimes. And then down on this hand down here. This one is really in shadow, so it's probably going to end up darker than that one anyway. So you can start seeing now some definition coming up on our guy. I'm going to grab R11, which is a really, really light pink, so I can put some cheek colors on him. I don't want him to have really rosy cheeks, so I'm putting it underneath all of the other colors. So right now it looks really bold. Here. Really bold on his cheeks. I'll show you. But we're not going to be able to see that. It's just going to leave a really faint pink on the cheeks when we get done. So that was R11 if you didn't have that one pulled out, because I don't think I mentioned that at the very beginning. Okay, and then we're going to move to E11. This one, since we want this side area to be darker than the rest, we're just going to go all the way now to the edge of the hair. And then we're going to just go down and repeat what we did with the last color. Don't go all the way into the first color. Just extend and make sure you work that line. If you have a harsh line there, do like I showed at the beginning of the video on how to work that line so you don't have that harsh line. I'm also going to extend down and around his face. And I'm going to go right here where the ear connects to the face and just extend there. So most of the outside of his face should have color on it now. Also, I'm going to start going down the body. This neck part that connects to that collarbone, this is the last color for that. Then I'm going to extend here where his chest is, down his arm, out from this under his arm, up on his hand, down on this hand, and this is going to finish up the colors on that hand. And then around the edge of the elbow, down from the top. So there's still going to be some white over here. Now we're going to go underneath this. We probably need it a little bit darker there, so I may come back and darken that. But underneath this part that he's wearing across his chest, we need to have some underneath that strap. So I will hold that up so you can see that. So we added a little bit under here and here, but I think we should have done that with E13. So I'm going to grab E13 real quick and fill that in. But I'm going to do it with a really fine line. So I need to hold my marker upright and then just do a little tiny line right across here and right underneath this fuzzy shoulder piece. Because now you can tell that looks a lot better. Alright, so second to the last color time now, which is E21. There we go. Alright. So now this one, we're going to leave just a small area not colored. So I'm going to start off with this ear. The whole ear is going to get colored in with this one. I'm going to start extending from that edge of that hair. And then I'm going to meet all the way to his eyebrow. Extending here. Then I'm going to come in and go completely over those cheeks. Kind of soften that up. And this side. And then I'm going to leave some of that area alone. It's in the center of his face for his highlight. For this one, I'm going to go along the edge of this belt part that's over his chest. And I'm going to brush up towards that darker color, leaving a little bit of highlight right there. I'm going to come from the edge here on his arm. Most of that is in shadow. This is probably the last color on that arm. I think I'm going to leave the tips of his fingers for the last color, with the exception of that little thumb sticking out there. This side also, the sleeves will cover it, so we're just going to finish off this area with this E21. There's no need to use the E00 we're going to use next on that arm or this hand. Now I'm going to go along the top of his waistband with this color. I'm going to do all this over here in this color and right along his braid. The rest of his belly I'm going to leave for the last color. So we're starting to get him colored in. Most of him has all the color in him, just a little bit of white areas. So we're going to use our E00 to blend that out. So I'm just going to use a little bit of a back and forth motion right over this center where there's no color, and then back and forth right here real quick. And I am using an extremely light touch. I don't want to put a lot of ink on the paper, just a little bit. Back and forth over top of the chest in both places, and then the tips of these fingers. And that should have him colored in. So I will show you up close what that looks like. It's a nice, smooth, beautiful blend. This is Dale's practice with me. So very nice. Good job, Dale. You like these markers the best, don't you? Dale's been practicing with all the different markers. He doesn't know which one he likes the best.
I think my preference is, using Ohuhu, but it's combining it with colored pencils.
Yep.
For more of a hybrid approach.
Yeah, he colors along with using Ohuhu, and then he deepens the shadows with colored pencils. Just that's the way everybody does their own thing. I mean, whatever works for you, whatever your style of coloring is, do that. That's the best. Okay, so we have these paper. I have this paper pulled out for the background. So I'm going to try to stick somewhat with these types of colors so it matches my background. Also, the pre-printed sign has some antique-y, goldish brown looking color that we're going to try to incorporate with him as well. But since there's a lot of brown in this, we're going to go with brown hair for him. So I'm going to choose the brown E29 series because it's just the easiest for a basic brown color. So E29, E27, E25, and E23. So 4 colors, all in brown. And this is what we're going to do his hair, and maybe his boots or pants or something else too. We'll probably use this for more than one thing, but for now we're going to start with the hair. So E29, dark to light, just like I usually use, dark to light. I'm going to start at the bottom of his hair. I'm going to try not to turn that upside down. Right here where he has like a little bead in his hair, so underneath the bead, and then I'm going to start working this line right here up the braid, and I'm going to do it in a little bit of a zigzag fashion so that that's where the darkest area will be, wherever the hair is overlapping each other. So I'm just going to put this in here all the way up all the way up, all the way up the braid. This is a little bit back to basic coloring, so it might be a little different than you normally have watched me do before, but that's because I'm trying to give you that easier practice than the levels that I'm already coloring at. Okay, so we went all the way up that braid. Now there's another braid that goes down his hair right here. So I'm going to start here and I'm going to work this braid as well. All the way till I get there. And there's another braid that goes right here. So we're going to go this braid as well. And as you can see, it's a little zigzaggy, and sometimes I put a little bit further into the fold just to deepen that up a little bit. There's another one right here. This one goes right there. And then there's a last one right along here that once I fill in, it'll look like that whole side of his hair is brown. Now that we have his braids covered, we're going to do along the edge right here along his head. This is going to deepen that shadow that's around his face underneath each one that's on his forehead. Just to deepen that hair just a little bit. There we go. Now underneath his ear, I'm just going to make one tiny line all the way underneath his ear where his hair is. You can't see it, but there's a line right here that separates his shoulder from the hair that's in the back, and all this hair in the back will be dark because you can't see any light there, because that will be the underside of all that hair that's coming down his back. Hello, Beth. I know you love this set. I was wondering if you were going to pop on. I'm making a card for my son's birthday. E27. This one is also still going to be rather dark, but instead of extending from those dark areas, what I'm going to do is go along the inside of this braid all the way up. And then right by the ear, I'm going to do a little bit more shadow there. And then along this part on the top of his head, I'm going to extend those shadows just a teeny bit. So you do have to hold your marker upright so that you can get really fine lines. Looking pretty good. I'm going to fill in anything that didn't get filled along the edge of his head here. And then just towards the top of his head, I'm going to do the edge of his hair. Just like that. And that gets you the first two colors on there. With E25, now we're going to build the other side edge of the hair. Go down the other side, and I'm also going all the way to that dark fold line that we put in there with the E29. I'm using the side of my marker. You should be using the top, but I'm using the side so you can see what I'm doing. So my lines are a little thicker than they normally are, so if yours are thick, it's because you're holding the marker to the side. Now, along his head, I'm going to fill in with this color all the way up to that center mark right there. And now I'm going to start moving in between all these lines, extending them a little bit more so that most of this hair on the top of his head starts getting filled in, leaving just small white areas for the last color. This is a much bigger area of hair than that little braid. So there we go. I think we need to come along the center part right here and just do a little swipe up from here. So we can't leave that much light on the underside of his braid. We're also going to do a couple of little brush strokes out from that hair underneath the bead. He's awesome. He's so much fun. I really like him. His hair looks intimidating, but if you break it down in those pieces, it's not so bad. E23 is our last color, and instead of coloring like we have been so far with lines and teeny tiny little flicks like this, we're just going to dab within those areas where the light color is, just to get these filled in. So I'm really just stippling right along those areas to fill in that white. I'm not very good at leaving white. You could leave white highlights if that's your thing, but it's absolutely not mine. You will not see white areas left on any of my coloring, but there are some people that do it and it's very beautiful, but it's not me. So this is not blending. I don't want it to blend. It's hair. I want to see all the dark and light strokes. That is why at the beginning I said don't practice blending for hair. You want to be able to see all the folds and all the different marks. Hey Craft Girl, I'm Mac. Happy to see you. At this point, this is what we have for hair. I know this is slightly slower than I normally go, but we did have a retreat this weekend, and I wanted to make sure people who pop in will be able to do it. This is Dale's practice. He's practicing along with me. So these are the two guys. He is doing fantastic. In this case, his hair's slightly lighter than mine, but our skin tones are on par. And that's great, because his will look a little different than mine, which is a great thing. So if yours doesn't match mine exactly, it's awesome. Okay, now I want to use these same colors. Don't put them away. I want to use these same colors for some of the stuff he's wearing.
Are you going to put something at the bottom edge of underneath the bead? You have white space.
Oh, good call, Dale. Yep, I missed the this little piece right here. That I do that sometimes when I'm live because I forget. Yes. Okay, so we are filled in. Sorry about that. Good catch. Everybody is saying great job, Dale. Okay. So now I'm trying to choose what I want to do in this brown color, and because this paper has a lot of brown in it, I'm going to want to use it on quite a bit of stuff on him. So I think we are going to do this weapon that he has, or should we do it in black?
It should be a dark wood.
Okay, we're going to do it with this. Now,
Either go dark or light.
we're going to go with E29 to do our shadow areas. Now, I want to make this right here can be like a ribbon or a color that wraps around the weapon. Same thing down here. So I'm going to skip those two sections with this color, and I'm going to skip that. Everything else is going to be wood, so we're going to color all of that in. I'm going to start with this top piece right here, and I'm going to put this dark color right along these edges. Now, you'll notice there's a crack right here in the wood, so I am going to fill in that crack with this dark color. And you could do it on a couple more if you wanted. Maybe not all of them, but a couple of them. And then I'm going to move out to this piece out here, and I'm going to add some dark on that one as well. And then we're going to flip and do the same thing on this side. So normally I'd turn my image over if that makes it easier, so you're still coloring in the same direction. But for me it's okay either way. This makes it easier for you to watch so you don't get dizzy. I'm going to go along this one and just deepen up that line. And then I'm going to go along here and do the same thing. And hey Phyllis, I saw you pop in, and Danielle. And if I missed anybody, I'm sorry. I'm trying. And then along this area where that ribbon area is, I'm going to add just a small line of this color. So it's basically just kind of tracing that area right there. And then we're going to move down to the hands, and we're going to do underneath the hand and along the back side of this weapon. And then right here, oh, he has a thumb too. I missed his thumb. So I'm going to grab my E13 and I'm just going to dab where his little thumb is. There we go. And then there's a small part right here on this side of this hand where I'm going to add it, and then I'm going to stop because we're going to do this a different color as well. And then on the edge of that and down to this piece right here. And then I'm going to go on this side of it all the way to the edge of the weapon. So it's all the way along that bottom piece. He is fun to color. I like to color him. If you break it down in small pieces, it's not hard to color. But when you first look at it, you think, oh my gosh, I have to color all of that. So, yeah. I am going to use this dark marker on these edges of this part that goes across his body. I'm going to do the top and the bottom just solid in this color. Kind of keep that dark color going. And then I'm going to do the bottoms of his shoes. And again, I'm just going to fill them in with this E29. I'm not going to do any highlights on it. I'm just going to fill them in. Just like that. Now, I did get his neck. Yep, I did. Alright, E27 is next. And with this one, we're going to start up at the top of this weapon again. I'm going to start curving around this edge and making sure that I go over and extend on all these artist drawn lines in here. I'm also going to add a few of my own. You add whichever ones make sense to you, and I'm going to add the ones that make sense to me. I'm going to go all the way around the top side of that. Then I'm going to go up with the little brush strokes there. You can tell I'm using really light marker because some of my brush strokes don't even show up. That's because I'm using light pressure, and that is okay for them to not show up. A little bit around here. Inside, I'm not going to do anything on the middle one, but on this one, I'm going to extend up just a little bit. Same thing on the bottom one. Just like that. Just like that. This is going to build a little bit of wood texture out of that, so you'll be able to see it. So when we come down the weapon, we're going to extend just a little bit here. Some of them are going to be longer, some shorter. I'm going to go over the artist drawn lines. Going to go over this one, go over this one. And then I'm going to come down here, and this one little piece right here, I'm going to fill that in. Going to follow these artist drawn lines, just putting a little bit of this color in there, and then that round piece at the end, I'm going to go ahead and go inside and outside on that. And that's all I'm going to do with that one. Next we have E25. This one we're going to use a little bit, slippery little suckers. Okay, this one we're going to do a little bit more, and we're going to extend, and then we're going to leave just our highlight areas. So for this top piece, I'm going to leave that alone. We'll do that with the next color. For the middle piece, I'm going to fill that one in with this color on both ends. And then I'm going to use the side of my marker, and I'm going to make large brush strokes across the weapon. I'm going to do it on both ends. It's going to leave me some highlight areas that I will use the last color on. So it kind of gives you a little bit of a textured look, which is great. That's exactly what you want. I'm also going to do a full coat on this part right here. Then I'm going to do the same thing here. Brush strokes, not the same length. And then I'm going to make sure that I have a solid line all the way around the edge of that weapon. So I'll start off at the bottom so you can see that I want a straight line across there, and then I'm just going to lay my marker there and flick it just a little bit to get some color in there. Thank you. All right, last color is E23. And this is the one that we're going to finish these little end pieces with. So I'm just kind of dabbing that color in there because there's not really enough room to like do a back and forth. And we don't want to wash out any of this color, so I'm just going to put a few little flecks inside wherever the white is. Just like that. There is one piece you can't see on camera, but I can see that there's still white there. And then on this one, same thing. I'm just doing kind of a long, really light touch brush stroke to go over the white areas that aren't filled in yet. Along the edge and get everything filled in. And that concludes our weapon. So if I hold that up so you can really see it, you can see that there's some texture within that wood look. You can build it more or less depending on what you want to do. Here's Dale's. You can do more or less wood lines. So in this, if I were sitting with you and you colored this, I would say a little bit washed out here, so add the darkest color back in with the tiny brush strokes to get that wood texture back into it. But it looks great. Just that would be my tip for improvement in the future. There you go. Yay! Okay, so now I'm done with those browns. I want to move on to a different color. I feel like I want to have a little bit.
See, this would be the area where I'd bring in the color pencils because I don't have that brush control yet.
Yeah.
I'm not familiar with it, so my lines end up being too thick, but I can correct it with a color pencil.
Yes, you can. You definitely can. So what I want to do is I want to have a little bit of warm gray in there. I want to have a little bit of a greenish color like this one. And maybe a little bit of a mustard-ish color like this. And I think those are the colors that I want to finish this with. So I need that greenish color makes me think of YG 97, 95, 93, and 91. And I'll swatch them out so you can see how to swatch the colors and make sure it's what you want. And then for my mustard-ish golden yellow, I'm going to use I'm going to try this color combination, and we'll look at that. And then for warm gray, I want to have, I think I want to do this one. So we have 3 color combinations, and if we need anything else, we can add to it later. But I'm going to, this is YG97, so it starts off as an olive type green, but as you go down in the color numbers, it starts changing to, that's still olive green, it's light, but when you go to this one, it changes it to have a little bit more of a mossy green color to it. And it gets even lighter with this one. So it gives you a really good color, but there's some different tones within it, which reminds me of this, with the exception that this has some blue in it, but the greens match up nicely. For the yellow golden mustardy combination, I'm going to use Y28 first. This one is a very muted color. It's called brushed gold. And then I'm going to move to Y26, which is actually mustard. And then I'm going to go to Y32, and this is usually what I use as my golden color when I'm coloring something golden. So it matches nicely, but there is a bit of a highlight within this. So I'm going to use Y11 to brush at the end and go over the last couple of colors to bring in a little bit of that brightness. So those are going to be our yellow colors, and then for our gray tones, I'm just going to use W7, 6, 5, and 3. So that's how I swatch everything. If they blend well together, then I know they're going to blend when I get on the card. If they don't, then I choose a different color. That's the way it works. So I'm going to start with the green, since we went over the green first. So YG97, and I'm going to do his pants in YG97. So above here, there's this little part of his pants you can see, but it's all going to be in shadows, so I just filled it in with this color. Right here underneath the weapon, I'm going to put some color here. So under his hand, under the weapon, and down towards his boots. I'm going to do the same thing on this side, underneath that little waistband, and all the way along this side of his cloth that goes down the front. And then just to get the coloring in these dark spots, I'm just going to dab a little bit of color in between these little zigzags that are here, so that we have a little bit of shadow down there. I may go with those boots in green as well, but I can't decide yet, so we're not going to start. So YG95, also still dark green as we saw when we swatched it. We're just going to extend from where we put that last color, and I'm just doing it with nice soft even brush strokes, and I'm going to come up from the bottom and down from the top. So down from the top, extending slightly further, the back side of this leg, and up from the bottom. That gives us shadow in both places. So next I'm going to grab my YG93, and because this color changes to green, I'm going to go over the last color and extend. over and extend. Most of it will be filled in, but there's still a lighter area that'll need a little love from the last color. So around the edge, down from this side, up from this one. And there's a little bit more white on that side. It's a little bit more out in the open. With YG91, I'm going to start and just go back and forth like this over top of this, kind of working that center section there. Looks like this color is significantly different from the color before it, so I am going to have to touch over top of that. Just one light coat so I don't wash out my color. Since I learned that on this side, I'm just going to do a light coat, one pass all the way over the whole thing, and then a second one where the light color was. And that will blend beautifully smooth for you. Now I do want to I want to do a couple more accents with this color because I feel like this color needs just a little bit more within the image. So I'm going to use YG97. And I'm going to do these straps over the boots. So on the left side, extending that little artist drawn line, and then a little bit on the other side, because that's a curved area, so you need shadow on both sides. For his wrists, I'm going to do those straps in this color, so wherever it's deep inside, shadow for that, just like that. So I'm building a bit of shadow within those straps on his arm. I'm going to do the same thing on this side, although the straps are a little bit harder to see and know what they look like or where they are. Most of that is going to stay pretty dark. This is also straps, and then that is not. Here's the ones that go up his top of his weapon. So I'm going to choose areas that I want to be the overlapping and get some dark color within there. So just like that at the top, and then at the bottom, this small area here, a little bit there. Kind of like some of the little triangles, just color the edges of them dark to get that color in there. And then this part that goes across his chest, I'm going to start up here with the darkest color and a teeny bit on the edge down there like that. Hold on to these colors because I think we're going to do his eyes with these green colors too. So don't put them away when we finish. Okay, YG95. I'm going to go back and start on the boots. So just extending and coloring in most of that. Leaving just a little bit for highlight. We're only going to use 3 of the colors on that area. For the straps up here, we're going to go along the edge of the bottom and the top. I'm not going to do anything else. Just a little line along the bottom and the top. Same thing with the wrists on each edge. Not going to do anything in between. And then for this part across his chest, I'm just going to extend a little bit more from each side. It leaves a small white area that will fill in with the last color. I wouldn't have thought of doing the straps that way. That's brilliant. Oh, I knew. Now you have to color him again, Beth. I know you've already colored him a bunch of times. Okay, we're going to leave off the lightest colors, so we're going to end with this YG93 for all of these other accent pieces that we're doing. So I'm going to finish that top part of his boot. I'm just going to do a real light stripe back and forth on the other boot. And then I'm just going to follow that process all the way through all of these straps. I'm just going to lightly touch one time across all the straps. Same thing on the other side. Lightly touch one time, all the way across. Same thing on this one. Light one time, all the way across. And then this piece, just going to go twice. Back, one time forward, one time back, I'm done. And now we have this really beautiful green color within his costume that is going to match very nicely with this. Don't you think? It goes good. I think it's good. And then here is Dale's. Look at that. You did fantastico. But you missed these straps on the boots. Oh, you changed your mind on what color you wanted to make them? That's okay. That's what makes us unique. Very nice.
You color faster.
Oh, I color faster. Sorry. Okay. So next, we use the greens. Well, let's just go ahead and conquer the eyes while we're here. So for this guy, I'm going to go with the darkest color, which is YG97. I'm going to hold my marker upright, as high upright as I can get it. I'm going to dab just a little bit at the top of each side of his eye. I'm going to do that on both sides. I'm not going to put any along the bottom, just along the top. I'm going to grab my second color, and I'm going to just hold my marker upright and extend just a tad bit further, almost down like the side, leaving just the bottom open. This marker color combination is going to do great. Phyllis said, "Son, you're doing great." And Barbara said, "You are so good, Dale." And Leanne said, "Great job." So,
Okay, I got my boots.
okay, he's got his boots done now. Good job. They look great. You did good. Now I'm going to take that YG 91. I'm going to skip 93. And I'm going to go straight to YG 91. And I'm just going to lightly touch with my marker upright back and forth along that bottom area of his eyes. Now, that gives him the green color that I want. But if I really want those eyes to pop, I'm going to grab my G00, which is what I use on every single eye color. And I'm just going to do a little bit of back and forth right down there at the bottom. And all that does is lighten it up and give it a little bit of a highlight down there. And it just makes those eyes glassy to me. So I'll see if I can focus that in there. See how they're really bright, like right here. That's where I put that G00. So it would really give that glass effect to the eyes. And you can do that much easier on a larger image, but I like to do it on all of them. So if you don't want to do that part, you don't have to. You can just stop with the YG91. Completely up to you. Okay, I think I'm going to grab my grays next because I want to get my grays filled in before I decide if this is going to be the last color combination. So I'm going to grab my W7 first. Now, I want all these fur-ish areas to be lighter, and I want some of the gray areas to be darker. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start off with the boots so I can make, and this strap that goes across them, so I can make them darker than the fur. So I'm going to start off with this, but as we're going, I'm going to add in, I'm going to start coloring some other sections as well. So just know that that's going to happen. So I'm doing underneath these fur areas right here. I'm going to do along where that strap comes over a shoe and then along the sole. And I'm going to do that on both sides. then under this strap, and right along the sole. And then I'm going to start working on this. Now, I'm going to put just a teeny tiny at the top because it is folded over, but I'm not going to put any more. I'm going to focus more underneath the weapon. So all along there, and then I'm going to extend so we see a few folds, if you will. And then there's a little triangle right here that's actually behind the front piece and one over here. So we want those to be dark. I'm going to add a little bit of ink on the artist drawn lines. All of them. And that's going to start that piece of our outfit. All the rest of the leftover spots are going to be gray or golden. So let's keep going. This is W6. Now I'm going to put that along, extending from where I put the other color on the boots, extending down from here and up from the bottom. These are those tiny brush strokes I was telling you about earlier. Down from the top, then down from this piece and up from the bottom. And then for this waist piece right here, I'm going to extend here. And then I'm going to go along the edge of some of these. Give a little bit of dark to the edge. And then I'm going to, this fuzzy part right here, I'm going to start by just putting some small brush strokes from the points of all those areas around here. We're going to try to make this look a little bit like fur. Not going to go all out, but I want it to have a little bit of accent of fur on it. I'm also going to do some away from the braids. And all these little triangles I'm going to color in with that color. So just kind of accenting them a little bit. I think Dale's marker pencil combination is a great idea and eventually transition to just markers. Yes, it's a fabulous idea.
Yeah, because there's no way I'm going to attempt his eyes with a marker. I have to go in with a color pencil because I will just put a big old blot on it.
This part on his boots, we're going to just do those little marks within that part right here. So I'm just kind of putting in the little bit there. Uh-oh, which one is it? Here, give it to me. W8. Alright, so I'm going to extend down from where the top part is. Are you kidding me? Oh yeah, the cap doesn't fit very well on that one. Okay. Dale's testing out my mom's markers and there's some dead ones in there. Okay. We need to go into this and I'm just going to put like some little stray lines so we can keep this fuzzy look going. I'm going to do the same thing down here. Put a few more. Put a few more within there. Just kind of random it out. It doesn't have to be anything fancy. Now I'm going to grab W5. And with W5, we're going to finish the boots because I want to keep them dark. So we're just going to brush stroke up and down, like back and forth to get that filled in. I don't want the boots to be any lighter. I want them to stay darker. I want the fuzzies to be a little lighter. So I'm going to extend down with this, up from here. And that should blend out your boot. This one I'm going to do in the back and forth curve motion to get that color in. I did it twice because I needed that smooth blend. I missed one spot right there. Now I'm going to extend here. I'm I'm going to leave just a little bit of white right there at the top of that weapon. I'm going to go down from the top. Then I'm going to go up from the bottom, leaving a little bit for the last color. Now with these ones here, I need to go around the outside. So I'm going to start filling in the edge, which should be in between all the past brush strokes that you did. It should be all in between. Should start filling it in. And then right here, I'm going to add a line across the braid and then a few little brush strokes in there so we can keep that part lighter as well. This one is going to be all the way around the outside as well. So I'm just dabbing that color in around these so I can do it a little bit quicker. It'll look like I spent a lot of time on it, but I didn't. That is the trick of the eye. And there we go. So now, hi Shelly, we're going to use the last color, which is W3. And for this piece, I'm going to do the back and forth for a more blended look. Still going to show highlight, but it's going to be more of a blended look on that cloth, where when I go into these, I'm just going to dab in the color. I don't want to do the back and forth. I don't want to blend it. I want it to look textured, so I'm just touching where the white is and filling in the color. I'm going to do the same thing on the boots. There we go. Very nice, very nice. So how do you like that little fuzzy, guys? It's pretty cool, huh? So there we go. Fuzzy and smooth. And Dale went rogue. So we'll show you his at the end. He's changing his colors up. I knew he could only follow for so long. And that's okay. I have no problem with that. Okay, we're going to use that gold combination, that Y28, Y26, Y32, and then we're going to highlight with Y11. So everything else that's not colored is going to be golden. So here we go. Y28. So let's start with this little thing right here. I'm just going to put this Y28 around the edges, top and bottom. And then this one, I'm just going to put the Y28 along here. And I'm going to do the same thing on this side. And then for these pieces, I'm just going to put a few little brush strokes out from where the wrap is. Along this braid, I'm just going to do at the top and down the one side. And then this part right here, going to go around the edge on each side. And then I'm going to stop. Not a whole lot of this color, just a teeny bit. Give him a D20, give him D20 worthy. Oh, he is going to have D20, trust me. Next, we're going to use our Y26. This is going to be a much brighter color. This is where the mustard color comes in. So I'm going to extend down and up. And then along this bottom and down from the top. This is such a beautiful color. I love this combination. Then for the here, I'm going to do just one line. We don't need a lot of detail in that part. And then I'm going to start extending from this one a little bit on this little bead, and then over here I'm going to go under the weapon. So these are really small pieces. If you're not used to all this detail, then just color it in. Pick one of the 4 colors and color it in. Y32, I'm going to go back and forth. Like I said, the Y11 is just a highlight that I'm going to paint over the whole thing. So I'm filling in all the rest of the pieces with this Y32, and then I will go over it with Y11 to lighten that golden color. So this is just really to change the tone to a much lighter gold. So I'm just going to do it by brush stroking back and forth over top the whole thing. And in here, I'm just going to put it over the whole thing on here as well. And then all of this and all of that. And that gets my golden color in there. You could tell when I added this how much brighter that yellow became. It really did change it up a bit. So here is my guy all finished up. Isn't he amazing? And it's just the steps. Just go through the steps is all you have to do. Just because I like his eyes to be darker, I'm going to use a multi-liner to go over the pupil of his eye. If you feel not confident and you need to practice this, don't do this part until later. But I've done this for years. And whenever I stamp something, I just never feel like the eyes are quite dark enough. If you go over the white, it's okay because we're going to use the white gel pen to make that pop. And give me 1 second. I have to let it dry before I can put the white gel pen on there. Be patient. It looks like I messed it up, but I promise I didn't. Now I'm going to take my white gel pen and I'm just going to put that eye right back in there where it was. I got one.
Did you answer Shelley's question?
I didn't see Shelley's question yet. Let me see. Clearly, I'm lost, LOL. But what is D20 worthy? Who and where is the character from? A game? A movie?
Well, I'll answer this.
That's so funny. But here, let me just make the D20 question super easy. This is the Geek Out D20. Which, do I have one?
So D20 is a 20-sided die that you roll during playing like Dungeons and Dragons or any other kind of those games.
20-sided dice.
And this set kind of is inspired and pays homage to Dungeons and Dragons because I have played a lot when I was younger and I played with my gaming group as an adult. So I wanted to do something that was fun that touched on that experience in my life and with my brother and friends.
Well, I'm glad you asked the question, but I was going to get there when I made the card. So I wasn't going to leave you hanging. But I know Beth was loving this set. She wanted something that had things that went with D&D, Dungeons and Dragons. So she geeked out over this whole set and was really excited about it. So she geeked out when she said the D20, and I knew what she was talking about from Dale and the kids. Here is Dale's version of the same thing that we colored. I told you he went a little rogue. He changed his colors to red. He did a great job. This set is so fun. We have wizards, and if you want to pull the other two so we can show them, that would be great. Our next step we're gonna do, and now I'm gonna make it tailored towards my son. You love both, they love both. I'm going to tailor the card towards my son because it's for his birthday card. So I'm going to be adding some elements I wouldn't normally add in a D&D card, but it will show how we can mix the stamp sets together. So this one is called Dungeon Treasure, and this one also went with that Mighty Warrior set that we're coloring right now. And then we also had, what did you call these?
That's a rogue and a wizard.
A rogue and a wizard. I call it a thief and a wizard, but whatever. And so it has a lot of elements for, you could use this for Halloween. You could use that for some kind of money bags and, a thief in the night kind of thing. I mean, there's just so many things you can use. And this one says, keep your wits sharp and your daggers sharper, which goes for gaming, those who know gaming, healing potions.
Or if you want to make a divorce card for your girlfriend.
The magic is within you. May your hits be critical and your misses be few. That's very much a gaming thing. Adventure awaits. Happy Quest Day. And then, of course, our Warrior stamp set that we're working with right now, our Mighty Warrior has it has the scroll, and all the sentiments in all 3 sets fit within the scroll. It says you've reached a new level of awesome, level up, and critical hit. And here's the 20-sided dice. This is the D20. So I gave a dice big enough that you could make the card with just dice if you wanted to. So that's the full set. This is a flashback Tuesday, flashback to a previous release. For this card, I chose a blue card base. I chose a brown matte. And then I chose from the paper pad we had called Homegrown. It's got a lot of really beautiful papers in it, but I like these wood panels, so we're going to use this wood panel for background on our card. And then I had an extra piece once I cut this off that's also wood panel. We're going to pop that up. And then I pulled some of our ephemera. So if you don't know us that well, our ephemera is hand colored by me and then made into ephemera by Dale, and we sell it in the shop. So you can buy the stamps, but you can also buy ephemera, and it's pre-colored. So the ephemera has different sided dice in it. So you get all the different kinds of dice. And then we have a Puppy Love stamp set, and this is the Dachshund and the Corgi, and my son has a Corgi and his wife has a Dachshund, so I'm going to put both of the puppies on the card. And then I made a pocket. This is like a sliding pocket. I just made this pocket that will slide in the gift card so I can mail him a gift card for his birthday. So we'll be using that, and I made that pocket from the Scrappy Boy mini album pocket. It's this one right here. I just made a pocket out of this die right here and used wood paper for it, wood paneling paper for it. So I needed a gift card holder, so I did it with a pocket. Rogues are so roguish. Aww. And then Ellen said, artist, can I color these? Well, you can certainly try. And such an awesome release. So clever, having all the sentiments fitting in the scroll. Yes. And then we're just going to build this card up real quick, and I'll show you. I'm going to put this paper on the other side. We had some pigs, that like the 3 little pigs, and this is paper matched them, so I'm going to attach this to my brown. And this literally is my son's birthday's on the 7th, so I need to get this in the mail in the morning. So yes, this is absolutely his birthday card. And he'll love it because he's a gamer and he'll appreciate it. So now I'm going to attach the brown panel, and then we'll build up from there with these extra pieces. So I'm all about a quick and easy card because we worked so hard on our images. I want them to be the focal point of our card. And that's generally what I do with almost all the cards I make. The coloring is the focal point because I work so hard on it. I want people to be looking at that. So I don't do a lot of elaborate stuff to the cards. So I'm definitely a quick and easy kind of gal. We also have, this is from the ephemera pack. It's the same scroll. It's just that I had already colored it, and it says, you've reached a new level of awesome, because my son is awesome. I mean, he is just so awesome. So he deserves a new level of awesome. I have some extra foam sheets here that I have from when I was working on other projects. So I'm going to use this excess foam to pop up this level right here. You know, because he leveled up. So these are just extras from 8.5 by or 5x7 sheets of foam that I get on Amazon. They're pretty cheap and they last a really long time, and I keep that little extra plastic bag for all the extra pieces, so when I'm doing something small like this, I don't have to cut the whole thing, the whole paper. I can just use all the excess pieces, and it helps me pop stuff up. So I'm just going to place this on the back of this panel. Just like that. Now we'll be able to pop this up so it'll be a different layer than the rest of the card. I haven't decided exactly where I'm putting everything yet, so we're going to figure that as we go along. Since I want this guy standing up, he's going to have to be popped up as well. It does kind of bug me just a teeny tiny bit that there's this white spot in there, so real quick I'm going to cut that out with my X-Acto knife. Just gonna do a little triangle, and then another small triangle, just so I don't have to look at this white spot because it drives me crazy. But if it doesn't bother you, then just leave it in there. But oh, okay, hold on. So and then on the back, if they didn't come off, I just wipe them off, and then there we go. We move on, and look how cool that is. Now you don't see that big white spot on there. You see doggy images. Yes, you do. Dale did his eyes on his guy. So he made them blue. Did you do them with color pencils?
Yeah.
He did them with color pencils. So if you struggle, maybe grab a couple of color pencils in blues and greens, and you can do the eyes in color pencil. That works out really nicely, honey. It looks very good. If you don't want to cut it out, color it to match the background paper. Perfect, Susie. Exactly. I'm just doing that so I can use my beautiful new X-Acto knife. Yeah, maybe that's it. You know, my X-Acto knife is amazing. Check out this X-Acto knife. Is this not the coolest thing ever? I got it from a lady on Amazon, on Etsy. She made it specifically for me. It's so beautiful. And that is my fun X-Acto knife. I love it. Okay, so I have some circle pop dots that I'm going to put on the back of him because he's not all that solid. And yes, I use paper that I messed up one side to color on the other, because who likes to waste paper? Not me. Pretty and purple. Yes, so good in colored pencil. I agree. So when I put him on here, I only need to have pop dots from about thigh high up. So I'm going to just put some of these circles on there. I think the circles are the quickest. I wish I knew where I got these circles from, because I absolutely love them, but I have no idea. They came as some free gift or something when I bought something, and I haven't been able to figure out who it was that I got them from, because I would 100% order them again, because I love them. There we go. That should be enough to hold our little guy up. Alright, so we have that. We need to have the sentiment. I want it to be up here in the corner. So I think I'm going to place the sentiment first so I don't cover it up with the characters. So I'm just going to glue the sentiment on there. Like this. And I am going to move it over pretty close to the edge so I have enough room for everything. I'm going to use my press tool. if you have a press tool and you're afraid it'll slide around like mine did, just flip it over and rub it, and then you won't have to worry about it moving around on the card and it'll get stuck. Alright, so here's my little panel. I'm going to place him on it and decide how far down to put the panel. I think I'm going to put it down about, maybe right over top of that. Right over top of this section right here. Like this. And I know it's not the full length of the card, and I am okay with that. I kind of like that it drops off a little bit on the edges and shows a little bit of other colors on there. Then one step at a time, we're going to take these backs off of these little circles, and they come off so easy, which is why I like these so much. Even with my, you know, gel fingernails, still comes off easy. So, some of them I have a hard time with my nails, but these, great. Now we're going to add a little bit of glue to his feet so they'll stick to the panel. And then I'm going to place him and make sure when I put him down that he's not going to cover up my sentiment. I think about right there would be really nice. Perfect. And then this is his dog, and he loves his dog, goes everywhere with him. So I'm going to put the dog on there too because I really like it and I think he'll love it. And you can always mix and match your stamp sets. So he's going to stick to the background, and yeah, that's really good. And he's going to pop up at the bottom since we popped up the little panel. This is his little buddy who's always with him everywhere. Her name is Ahsoka. Then I thought it would be fun to add some dice because I don't really add bling to my son's cards much. So I thought it would be cool to add some dice around the card. Just like I would normally add bling, but this time I'm going to add the dice. So I'm going to start, I think maybe I want that one down there since this one is yellow. So I'm going to use my tweezers. I'm going to put this one right here. It's underneath the dog's ears, but in the background. And then I'm going to put one of these circle dots on the next one so it pops it up. I guess I need two just in case. Nope, two is going to be too much, so I'm going to cut it in half. And I'll put half on each side, like here and here. That's much better. Peel that off. And then I'm just going to put this die right here over top of the other one. And then I'm going to put the last one. Yeah, I think I'm going to put it at the bottom. Now I know we still have a doggy left. That's okay. I'll show you what I'm going to do with him. So this is going to be the front of the card. It says you've reached a new level of awesome. We're going to open it up. I'm going to add an inside panel so I can write him a sweet little note. Your mama loves you. When are you coming home again? Because we really miss you. Kind of thing. And here's your birthday present. Here's your birthday present. When you coming home? You know how all us mamas feel that way. So I'm going to put that on the inside. And then I have the pocket for the gift card, and I think I'm going to put the pocket on this side. Yep, that will open and close just fine. I like to write him notes when I write him notes, so I'm just going to glue this pocket on the inside panel. Just right here. I'll straighten it up just a little bit. And I thought about putting the dog on the pocket, but I think I'm going to put the dog over here. So I think I'm going to put the dog over there. And then we're going to do one more step, and then we will be ready. So this one is the little dachshund they have. I always forget her name. Kalike. That's her name. Now I'm going to use the stamp set, the other stamp set that we have that has all the sentiments in it. Where is that stamp set? I had it right here. Oh, there it is. So we have a stamp set called Special Occasions, and I'm going to use the Happy Birthday in there. So I have the words separate. So here's Happy, and here's Birthday. And I'm just going to place that on a block so I can put it however I want. Let's see. I think I'm going to off-center it just a little bit. It would look like that. Yeah, I think that's good. I want to move it down a little bit so I can make it a little bit closer. I think I like it like that. This is kind of sliding up just a little bit. All right, there we go. And then I'm going to use my VersaFine Clair. And what happens if this doesn't stamp great? I just get a piece of paper and add it over it and do it again. So I'm not really all that worried about it, but I think I'll be okay. I'm going to add this Happy Birthday right here. I love this block. I got it from the Sassy Club. I love the size. It doesn't rock, and it stamps super great. And there is my Happy Birthday. And the gift card just fits right inside here, inside this little pocket. Just like that. I put it in the perfect spot. So there it is in all its beautifulness. I used all kinds of past products, so you certainly want to use all your products. And here is my son's birthday card that will get shipped out in the morning. I hope you guys enjoyed that video. I know it was slightly long. I went a little bit slower for those who want to color with me, but I love it. Hey, Drea, welcome in. Welcome in.
I kept up.
Dale kept up, so I think it went perfectly nice. Let me see. Dale went and added a little bit of accent to his card, which is super cool. Look, he added a shadow under his guy. So he colored along with me, and you can too. If he kept up, you can as well. But I hope you guys enjoyed that. I hope if you're watching on YouTube, you'll like and subscribe. There's more to come. Thursday night's live is at 8 Central. It will be on YouTube. So come over to YouTube and do the like and subscribe. So you and then ring the notification bell so you don't miss anything. Thank you, Shelly. I'm glad you like it. Aw, everybody, you guys are so nice. And then if you want to continue being crafty, I know that we're going to get crafty over on Happy Crafty Ho-Ho YouTube channel. So come on over there. I'll be over there tonight for a bit. So thank you for joining me. Have a fantastic evening, and I will see you guys Thursday on YouTube. Good night.